Hello and welcome to a brand new hardware review. Today, as you can see behind me and on my head, I have a pair of headphones. These are the Marvo HG9014 headphones, gaming headphones with 7.1 virtual surround sound, 40mm drivers, and they were loaned to us by the people at PCcoolers.ro for this review and for the unboxing, which you can also see on our channel. So, are they any good? Well, let's take a look! Now, first and foremost, the build quality of these headphones is quite good in my opinion. Compared to some of the other things I've owned in the past, they are sturdy. I mean, they have this double metal bracket up here that will keep everything in its place and will do its best to make sure that this headset does not come apart like some of the other ones I had in the past. Also, they have this strap, which is how should I put this? You can't adjust it by moving this big chunky metal bit that may or may not give way if you put too much force on it. Instead, it has its own internal strap that allows it to move around with your head. Now, this is a very good thing because it means there's a better chance that it won't break. The cups themselves are not movable in any way, shape or form, so you don't have to worry about them having any weak points. And again, I've had headphones in the past that tended to be a bit more flexible than these are, but they also had less durability because of that. With this one, there's less weak points. Also, there's less features in terms of flexibility, but it depends on your taste. Now, even though they seem to be quite large and to the touch they are a bit heavier than my normal day-to-day headset that I do not have around here because I loaned them out to someone else, they are surprisingly comfortable, and that's because of two reasons. One, they're not actually as heavy as they feel, mostly because the weight is distributed. You see, these cups are gigantic compared to other headphones I've had in the past, and that also generates two effects. One, it means that they will stay on your head, like they will gently caress your head, your ears, and will not actually put that much strain on your cranium. Also, because they are very big, they won't actually hurt your ears like some other smaller headphones would do that have smaller cup sizes on their, cups. And because they're big enough to encompass your whole ears, and because of this strap, the weight is sort of distributed between your ears and your head, meaning that it's not exactly that hard to use them constantly for hours and hours on end without getting tired. I've used them almost like one day for about 10 hours and I had absolutely no issues with them. Again, for first time use of these headphones, that's something, because usually when I switch headphones, there is an adjustment time during which my ears just ache from absolute pain. But with these headphones there was no issue, because the cups are covered by these very soft earmuffs made out of a sort of leathery feeling texture, and also very soft and very malleable interior foam. And for those people that are more focused on looks than comfort, they also glow. Like, these things glow in the dark. These are green LEDs that will, well, they're not actually that useful to you as the person wearing them, but to the people around you, they may attract a bit of attention. Unless you're all alone, in which case, good luck keeping the cat out of your hair, because cats love shiny things, especially in the dark. As for the rest of the design, I've said in the unboxing as well that this cable sort of looks like it's braided on the inside, but it's actually just a nylon, well, not nylon, it's a plasticky thing that is quite chunky and thick and will probably not get broken ever. Also, there is no sort of remote or control on the cable, meaning there are even less breakage points. The only control you have is this tiny little itsy bitsy volume knob right on the side that will let you control the volume, and also you have the microphone all the way in front up here, and sadly there is no on and off button for the microphone, meaning you're stuck with it. Always on. They say looks aren't everything, and these ones look just fine and they sort of perform just as fine. Compared to my other headphones, they are quite a step up, but keep in mind that my old headphones cost 15 euros and I was okay with them, and these ones are 40 euros. Again, 40 euros is not a big price for headphones. If you're an audiophile, firstly, hi, I don't know why you're watching a review of gaming headphones. And secondly, you probably spend at least 200 euros for something you would call entry-level headphones, and probably somewhere around 500 to 1,000 euros for something that you can actually call useful for music the way it's meant to be heard. These ones do okay for music. You probably won't be completely wowed by their effect in music, but again, without something that costs as much as a second-hand car, a good second-hand, or sometimes even a good new car, you won't get the kind of bombastic feel, the kind of sound that will just blow you back over. But these, again, are good for music. For casual listening, for people that like music, they are good. And how are they for games? Well, just as good. The frequency response of these is actually quite nice compared to my old headphones. I mean, those had problems with certain very high frequency sounds that these ones don't seem to have an issue with emitting at, well, a perfectly audible level and with perfect clarity. It also has very good bass, like I've seen no distortion in the bass, it sounds just fine, and for the most part it has a very good balance between both cups, like they don't have any distortions between them, you can't hear one louder than the other, and the difference in volume, like the range of volume this thing has, for example for audible voices, there's about a difference of about, well, not exactly 80 decibels, around 76, 75 decibels between the loudest voice you can hear, like the loudest sound you can hear, and the lowest one. And again, for audible voices, for regular noise, like just plain noise, it's probably larger than that, but you can still hear voices in a difference of 75 decibels, which is, again, quite good. My old headphones were around 72 decibel interval, that's what they could do. These ones can do a bit better, which is kind of logical because they have bigger drivers and they cost a bit more. Now, 7.1. You tend to see that on a lot of headphones nowadays, especially ones that are marked as being for gaming. But what does virtual 7.1 actually mean? Because mind you, actual 7.1 headphones have multiple drivers, like they have a big driver in the center, they have a few others in the front, one or two in the back, another one somewhere around here, and they actually have multiple drivers, like multiple speakers in the cups. This doesn't. This has virtual 7.1 with just two cups. So what does that mean? Well, initially, I believe that, well, it's virtual, it's a USB headphone thing. Well, maybe it has a software, like a driver, a special software that can interpret 7.1 or can interpret any other channel in such a way that it, well, channels them into just these two drivers. And that will allow you, well, that would permit you to have an experience that's akin to 7.1, but using just two of these headphones, just two drivers, just two speakers. This thing has no driver, like you just plug it in, it recognizes it, and that's it. There's no software, there's actually very little information about them on the web, mostly because they are quite new. Like I'm actually guessing this would probably be the first video review of them, or the first video of them, review of them in general. So is 7.1 virtual good? It doesn't exist. 7.1 virtual is just a fancy way of saying, hey, these are stereo. And that's it. There is no 7.1. There is no method for these headphones to actually register other channels than left and right. I know, I tried it. I recorded something in 5.1. I got files that were recorded in 7.1. There was no output for any other channel apart from left and right. That's because, again, they are stereo. But mind you, that's not a bad thing. It's good stereo. There seems to be a bit of a misunderstanding about 7.1 and stereo, especially in, oh gods, especially in the gaming community. Like, If you tell people, well, 7.1, they'll believe, oh yeah, that means I can hear where the sound is coming from. In CSGO, I can know by the sound where they're coming from, so I have to get 7.1. No, stereo is okay, because all the processing for positional, for tracking the sound to where it is, where it's coming from, that's done in-game. And that can be rendered out through just 2 speakers, because you also have only 2 ears, you know. 7.1 gives you a more immersive feeling because it actually spaces out the sounds in different areas. But a good stereo setup like this, just 2 speakers, and a game that can really discern very well, like it can emulate the distribution of sound in an environment, can render out the sound very well in just stereo. Like take for example the barbershop thing on YouTube. That's in stereo. That was made just for stereo and it sounds better than any 7.1, any 6, anything you will ever hear in any other sort of type of sound configuration. So 7.1 virtual is utterly meaningless, but these are really good gaming stereo headphones. I could even go as far as saying that these are some of the best stereo headphones I've ever owned. Again, if you're an audiophile, you're laughing at me right now, and I know I don't have the budget to spend as much as I would on a car on a pair of headphones. But for gaming, for just listening to things, they are marvelous. But there is one aspect where they kind of fall flat on their face. You see this thing here? That is supposed to be a microphone. Well, now I may be a bit of a snob on microphones because I have this thing, but this is not a very good microphone even compared to the one I had on my old 15 euro headset. For, well, 2 or 3 reasons. One, there is no off button anywhere for the microphone, like I've said already. There is no way of switching it off, which is kind of a pain because a lot of games still don't allow you to just switch it off or leave it automatically on until you realize that you've been yappering around and everyone heard what you were doing, which is not always a funny feeling. The other problem with it is that, well, it's an omnidirectional microphone, meaning it will pick up everything, and I mean everything. It won't just pick up what you're saying. Like, even though it's very close to your mouth, it won't just pick up what you're saying, like right here. It'll pick up especially everything that's in front of you. Like, look at the way it's shaped. Like, this hole is pointed downwards, so it'll pick up your keyboard quite a lot. And as I've mentioned in the unboxing, it'll also pick up the door and the cat that's at the door. And one last issue is the housing itself. It may seem small, but this thing causes a lot of echo, and I mean a lot of echo. You can actually hear in a couple of seconds, you'll hear a comparison between my microphone, the one you just saw earlier, and this one. This is a recording using the Behringer C1U microphone running on 16 bits, 48,000 kHz at a distance of about 2 centimeters from my face. No filters have been applied for this recording. No boost has been applied to this recording. This is a recording from the microphone of the Marvo Scorpion HG9014 headset. It is placed in the standard position of the headset and recorded at 16 bits at 48,000 kHz. No filters have been applied to this recording. No boost level has been applied to this recording. This recording using the microphone attached to the Marvo Scorpion HG9014 headset has been boosted with 10 decibels. It is now approximately equal to the recording at the beginning using the Behringer C1U microphone. To get equal amplitude in the volume without using any form of boost, I would have to put the Behringer C1U microphone at a distance of about half a meter away. Big difference, isn't it? I mean, that's a big difference. Now keep in mind, this is a studio microphone, like the one I'm recording on now is a studio microphone. It's also powered by USB, so it's not very sophisticated, and it costs almost as much as these entire headphones, but still, even compared to the old headphones I had, the ones that were just 15 euros, this microphone is not very good. They could have fixed this issue by just having it on a little arm and having the the part that was facing away from you covered with some sound insulation material that would not allow noise from your keyboard from the exterior to just bombard the microphone. And that way it will also resolve the issue of the housing causing echo, because if it was more focused, if they could focus the sound by the shape of the boom arm, it would have caused, again, less echoing, which would have made for probably a better microphone. Frankly, I would... Well, it's not completely terrible. Like, there used to be absolutely horrible microphones 4, 5, 10 years ago. They were just complete horrible. You would not want to use them ever. This is not it. This is actually okay, but I wouldn't use it. Like, I wouldn't at all. Oh, I only use it accidentally because, well, because Windows and all of the programs I have, well, most of them on Windows, can't really seem to understand that me setting something else as the default device for recording or for rendering audio doesn't actually mean that they should pick whatever the hell they want. No, I want to pick the default, namely either this or this microphone. But some programs just refuse to understand that. It's a bit of an issue on Windows with the USB devices. Programs just get confused and don't know what to do. My old headphones, in case you're wondering, were a pair of E-Blue Cobras that again cost 15 euros. So in closing, the Marvo Scorpion, because I forgot to say their full name, the Marvo Scorpion HG9014, an actually okay pair of headphones with a lackluster microphone. If you use them for games, yeah, you'll have a good time with these. Like, seriously, you will have a good time. But don't use the microphone too much, because it's not well implemented, and that's kind of sad because the rest of the headphones are actually quite okay. I like it, and I'm gonna have to send them back in a couple of weeks. Till then, I'm just gonna enjoy them a few days more. Well, that would be it for this edition of the hardware review. Next time I'm gonna have a keyboard review for you, or maybe a one with a mouse, a gaming mouse, which you may have already seen being unboxed on this channel. If you haven't, check out the unboxing as well. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this show. If you enjoyed it, please consider watching some of our other videos and maybe sharing them or giving a thumbs up if you feel like it. And if you really liked what you saw, please check out our Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you could help us make much better shows and get some rewards in the process. Or you could consider buying my book called Tale of Doom. Volume 1 is out now and available for just $2. And as always, if you thought it was horrible, you know where to find me and complain about it.